Good morning, friends. It is a beautiful morning out, and I have a video for you about utilizing the stuff that you already have on your property or in your house. With the economy the way it is and how expensive things have become, it's better to utilize the stuff that you already have on your property than it is to go out and buy brand new. Now, eventually, this will be a new fire pit with new brick, new everything. But for right now, we're going to utilize what we have. That way, we're not having to spend a couple $100 on brick and mortar and all that. Now, it's not going to be pretty, but it's going to serve a few purposes. One of them is to protect my dogs. That way, I don't have to worry about them getting a hold of hot ash on their paws. And also, I can use the ash for my garden and to make lye for lye soap or any kind of soaps, because it does require lye, and you can get lye from wood ash. And that's something I want to do this year, is to make homemade soaps. Let me go ahead and give a shout out to Donnie. He was a trooper. He likes to work in the yard. That's one of his favorite things to do. And he didn't want me lifting these bricks because I just had surgery on my shoulder not long ago, and it's still recovering. The doctor said it'll take up to a year for my shoulder to be completely healed. So he didn't want me to pick up those big chunks of brick that you can see he's having troubles moving himself. We decided to go ahead and use the brick because there is brick everywhere on this property. There's a pile of brick up on the hill next to the house. There was brick right next to the yard into the woods. Just barely. I mean, like they just tossed it there. No big deal. We cleaned it up, and we're going to utilize it for the fire pit. Again, it's not going to be pretty, but it's going to serve a purpose, and that's all that matters to me right now. I know you're supposed to stagger the brick, but because we're not having mortar or anything, we're just going to go ahead and sit them in wherever we can sit, because it's like a puzzle. You have to just find the right pieces for the right areas, and that's what took so long. Because normally, I mean, if you had the same size brick, you could just quickly set it all up and you're done. But we had to slowly put it together piece by piece, because some brick was big, some brick was broken, some brick was already stacked and mortared together, as you can see right here. And it was just a puzzle. And like I said, it's not pretty, but it's going to keep things safe. It's going to be safe for the dogs. It's going to be safe for us. And it'll allow the burnt area to heal up. It should be completely healed, hopefully by the end of summer or fall. And then it'll just look even prettier. Eventually, we'll have new brick and a new area, but I plan on using this to cook with. I'm going to make a small area, bricked up, like in the corner, and put a grate over it and just cook out there for the pretty much most of the seasons, spring, summer, and fall. And even in the wintertime, depending, I have cast iron, a complete set with Dutch ovens, a griddle, cast iron pans. So cooking out there will be really easy, and it will keep me from having to use gas for my stove or anything else. And it'll also keep the house from getting overheated, because we plan on not running the AC this year. Now, when it gets into triple digits, that might be a different story, but we'll see how it goes, because I know one thing that you could do is bring in the cool air at night, close your house up in the morning, and for the most part, your house will stay pretty cool, with just fans and stuff running. And so cooking out here will save on us having to turn on the AC because I've got the oven going, or turn on the AC because I'm cooking on the stove. I'll be able to do all that out here. In April, it will be a year that we've been on this property, and it's been a struggle because we are pretty deeply in debt. we're working hard to get all our debt paid off this year, except for our truck payment and our house payment. And then we'll work really hard on the truck, and hopefully we'll get that paid off in about 2, maybe 3 years at the most. I would say around 2 years. And then we'll work on the house, and we're hoping that we'll be completely out of debt in 10 years. And then once that's all done, my husband can retire if he wants or whatever. But by doing all this and not spending no money other than what we have to survive, of course you need to spend money on food, but I have cut the meat back on that. Instead, if it calls for a pound of meat, I use a half a pound. If like those rotisserie chickens, I'll make 4 or 5 meals out of that. Just any way we can stretch that dollar or penny, however you want to say it, will work for us, because every dime we have that we can keep from spending will go towards bills. Again, the deeply in debt is from the move, and we're just trying to get all that paid off. It's not easy. It's not fun. But we have a goal in mind, and that is to be out of debt within 10 years, and that's even including the house. Now, I know that if you pay on your principals, that knocks down the time that you spend on paying on your debt, and that's the goal. But once we get all the credit cards paid off and everything paid off that we've got right now, other than the truck and the house, then we'll be able to focus more on the truck, and then we'll be able to focus hard on the house, because we'll have all that free money to spend on the house itself. And again, $100 a month extra on your car payment, or $100 a month extra on your house payment, really knocks your payments short. So like if we have a 7-year payment for the truck, by paying an extra $100 a month on just towards principal, and then the rest of it towards your loan, it really helps with knocking those years down. So that's the plan, and hopefully we will be able to get everything all set up and everything paid off like I said, within 10 years. So that is why we're utilizing everything we can around our property to make the things that we need to make. Like, example, I'm going to make some teepees for my tomato plants, and I'll use the sticks I have in the woods and make a teepee, and to help my tomato plants stand tall. You don't need to go out and buy brand new. Find a way to utilize the things that you have in your home, so that way you can pay off your bills. You can focus on your bills more and not worry about spending on a new property or even your old property. And you want to do things like, I want to have garden beds, and I have to have this or I have to have that. Well, I'm going to go ahead and use the back to Eden as much as possible, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, friends, well, I just wanted to show you how we are utilizing the stuff that we have on the property. I don't know where all this brick came from, what they used it for, and I really don't care. As long as I can use it, I'm going to. I know that by using it, it's going to save us a couple, $200-$300, because brick isn't that cheap, and we need to have the fire pit big enough so that way we don't have to cut all those limbs down to smaller sizes. And I'm going to go ahead and utilize that for cooking too, and making ash, and it protects the puppies. So no money spent here. You just had to use a little bit of elbow grease, and that's it. Okay, friends, well, I really hope you liked the video on how we utilize the things on our property, and I hope to see you guys on the next video. If you're new here, can you think about hitting that subscribe button? It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps my channel. Algorithms is really important for YouTube, and in order to get my video out there a little farther, I need to have a lot more people and a lot more interest in my channel. I'm going to be working a lot on my yard this year, so hopefully you guys can see it transform a little more. And I will talk to you guys on my next video. Bye, friends.